Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Real Talk. I'm Aaron King, alongside my partners in crime for the day, Emmitt Thomas and Marcus Modey. We're going to have a great time. We have a lot of football to talk about. There's a lot that went down in this past week in Austin Peay, in college football in general, and also in the NFL, and we have a lot to talk about, gentlemen. We really do. So let's just dive straight into the Austin Peay Governors. Really a big win over Tennessee State University. Final score 49-34, and they actually broke an attendance record for 12,201. And Marcus, I think me and you were talking about it a little bit. I think that might even be not too accurate because some of these students that get in, they don't really count. There's no way to count them necessarily. So that could have been up to 14,000 like we were talking about.
And we never know, just because with the student section, you have your AP card, you just show it and you just walk in. And it was a lot of students there because even security came out and it was like, y'all going to have to sit down because they were just standing up.
They don't really tally you. When you walk in, it's just kind of, here's your card. Okay, you can go in. Okay, here's your card. Okay, you can go in. That's pretty much all it is. They don't scan your card, nothing. They just see you have a card.
There's no way to regulate that.
Yeah.
Really.
So it could have been even more than that. So that's pretty crazy to think about. Could it be 14, maybe even up to 15? Because you said there was a lot of students there. You were in the student section, weren't you? Or you were broadcasting?
I was broadcasting.
Y'all were doing the mock broadcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, I want to give you your props because we talked about this on the first episode of Real Talk, and I want to go ahead and just lay it out there. Marcus, you were correct.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's your first win
Marcus Modey, everybody.
Yeah, Marcus Modey, everybody.
Give me a hand
it.
clap. I'll take it.
Yeah. So basically, what you said was that the Governors were going to have to move away from this double quarterback system. I thought otherwise, and I think Emmitt thought otherwise too for a little bit. What was your opinion on that?
Yeah, I saw both sides of the argument, but I really wasn't. I wasn't fully on board with Marcus. I was like, hey, if it works, is it broke? Don't fix it.
So he went down with the ship with me, and so. They didn't go with the double quarterback system. Could that have been, because Javon Craig got smacked in that game?
That was a pretty big hit.
It was a big hit. I mean, that was a massive hit.
I mean, it was on my side.
Could that be why? I don't know. They didn't really use a double quarterback against Jacksonville.
Did they use it against UT Martin? I don't think so.
Not really. I mean, it didn't really matter because they couldn't throw the ball past 5 yards. And it bothers me because I feel like they really could have beaten UT Martin, but they just when it rains they have no air attack.
Yeah, there's
none.
There's no downfield shots or even a threat.
And again, when your offense consists of Kentel Williams, with an occasional keeper, that's going to get pretty obvious eventually.
Oh, TSU was daring them to throw the ball. Like they were loading the box like I've never seen. 8, 9 sometimes. I was just like, guys, take a shot downfield.
Yeah, that's.
And really, the only time when they didn't have 7 in the box is when the Govs spread it out.
When they were in empty.
Empty set. That's the only time they didn't load up the box.
If there was a running back in the backfield, they were loading it up.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, Noatsville, he actually had a pretty good game against TSU. And we talked about it a little bit, too, on the radio show that we do on Friday nights. Emmitt, TSU has a pretty good passing game.
They do.
They have a pretty good passing game with a pretty solid receiver as their main target. And defense didn't really hold them as much as we thought they could have. But, I mean, it wasn't bad.
They did fairly well, but what was surprising to me, I thought it would be Trayon Harris that got off, the receiver that transferred from Florida.
Yeah.
But it was actually Chris Rowland who was constantly, this guy had a game. It was ridiculous.
In the mock brass, we called him Mr. Reliable because
Mr. Reliable.
Crofter was his number one receiver, and every time he's doing 9 catches, he was about 15 targets.
He was over 150 receiver.
Speaking of that, speaking of the mock broadcast, how was that? Because you were in a crew, you were upstairs, weren't you?
Yes,
you were broadcast, like you were the guy. You had Patton Cook, who was play-by-play. You had you as an analyst, and you had
Hunter Sanders. That's my.
Have I met Hunter?
I don't
think I've met Hunter.
He plays tennis.
Yes, he does.
I definitely haven't met Hunter.
It was It was peculiar because that was my first time broadcasting.
Yeah.
Not in the booth. So
yeah. So like, how was the chemistry of like a play-by-play guy
and two
with
analysts.
2 analysts? How was that chemistry like?
at first it was a little rocky just because we didn't know how and what, like which analyst wanted to go. But over time, it really adapted. It almost felt like Monday Night Football to me.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. Tarico in the game.
Yeah.
And I kind of like Booger McFarland in that ESPN crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now that he's moved up from the SEC network, I kind of like that. You know, maybe they should get you a cart on the field and you just go up and down like he does and just have a bunch of screens. Can we set that up, Steve? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be expecting that next broadcast. So we had also Jeremiah Oatsfall was actually pretty good too, as that, you know, the starting quarterback, the guy they starting to hold on to now in that quarterback position. He had what, I had the stats right here. 7 for 15, 189 yards, 1 touchdown. He also had 9 carries, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Is it good or bad that your starting quarterback is your leading passer and your leading rusher?
That ain't no problem.
It ain't no problem.
That
But
ain't no
it's
problem.
just that when the times that he was running was the right plays.
Right.
So
Making the right reads.
Yeah.
your right reads and those 2 touchdowns, on those 2 touchdowns, defense collapsing on a running back, you have to pull that, or that's going to be an instant loss of game.
Yeah. And also a fun fact, I kind of pointed this out in my notes here. Harley was the leading receiver for that game too. And for those who don't know their 3 deep, Harley is their 3rd string quarterback. So that means you have 3 quarterbacks. You have Jeremiah Oatsfall, leading passer, Jeremiah Oatsfall, leading rusher, and you have quarterback / wide receiver Harley as your leading receiver. So really, 3 your quarterbacks dominated all 3 sections of the game.
In the defense, Harley he went full out Odell Beckham.
Is Harley more like I guess
Braxton Miller-ish?
Yeah,
or like
Braxton
a Pryor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who
Terrell
like,
Pryor.
like he could be
Yeah.
he could be a quarterback because he's got the arm, he's got the accuracy, but he's got more skills of a wide receiver.
Exactly. I mean, they blitzed. TSU sent the all-out blitz, and Oatsfall just chunked it to Harley. Now, Harley was getting pass interference on the play. They actually
Yes.
called it, and he one hand snagged it
That
and
was
just
beautiful.
took it to the one. So, a lot of chunk yardage on that one play.
He almost scored. It was very close.
It was ruled a touchdown on the field, but they reviewed it and brought it back.
Yeah, I was kind of watching that too, and I disagreed completely that it wasn't a touchdown until they finally gave me a view of, I think it was directly like on the sideline, looking down towards and you could see that left foot right before he extends. That left foot touches out of bounds, and like comes up, and I'm like, oh, that's what they're looking at. And then they gave me the other angle of right on the pylon, just about, and sure enough, he had not extended yet, and that foot touched. I'm like, okay, I agree. I don't know how the refs saw that. Kudos to him, but okay, we're moving on.
Right.
We got a touchdown next play, Jeremiah.
Yeah, that was Jeremiah's
Jeremiah just ran it in the next play.
Yeah.
It was a bootleg.
They should have just given it to Harley. Just have him be quarterback and run it in. He deserves that touchdown.
Really.
That's what I would have done as QB or as head coach.
It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, just
Play
hey,
caller.
Harley, go. What am I doing? Just run.
Jet sweep.
Just run. Who cares what you do? Just run. They have their next game is actually against they're traveling. They're playing SEMO on the 13th at 1 p.m. And actually their quarterback is pretty good. I can barely say his name. I had to hyphenate it in here. Santa Cantarina is his last name. That's not his first name. Isn't Santa?
Oh.
His full name is his full last name is Santa Cantarina.
That's
And I am so glad I don't have to call that game
that's
because
a
that
lot
would
to
be
say
horrible
every
for
play.
3.5 hours. Just
Every-
Santa Cantarina throws it to, you know, Humana Wanui. You know? Heaven forbid. But man, he put up some numbers. He really did. 20 for 27, 395 yards, 4 touchdowns in his
Oh.
last game.
Oh,
Then
he's-
again, that was versus Tech.
It was versus Tech.
That was versus
However,
Tech. And they put up 70 points against Tech. However, you still got to be
Yeah.
decent at what you're doing to be able to do that.
You know, stats don't lie.
Yeah, and he actually had a pretty good receiver too, in Orr, 30 yards a catch, just about 4 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. So that could be his guy. You know, what have you guys seen from SEMO in these past couple years? I mean, you guys have been on the broadcast crew with us.
The governor's going to have to watch out because of the running back. Terry, he's a former OVC Player of the Week. Mm-hmm. He can run the ball. So they have a pretty good balanced offense.
Yeah. Right? Over the years, SEMO has always been a team that they haven't been Jacksonville State dominant, but they could always play with anyone in the conference for the most part. Like, you were never just like, hey, we got SEMO, it's an easy win. Like, no. So, and they're a balanced attack between the air and the ground game. That's pretty much what I've seen over the years. And they're well coached for the most part. So
yeah, and
it'll
then
be a game.
What's scary to me a little bit is can this offense continue to function without? Is Satterfield still gone? Is he gone at this point?
I don't know if he's gone, but he's not.
He's not here,
and we don't really know. We just had
just personal league.
Yeah,
we had a I think TN Sports 360 had an article on it, and they said, you know, Healy wished him a, you know, not like he didn't say like speedy recovery or anything. It was like, we wish him the best. We pray for his success. Move on, and then blah, blah, throughout the rest of their quote, and it's like, you know, hopefully he can come back, and I think something like that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's bad. I don't know. Just reading that quote, I mean, what do y'all think? For the first thing I thought of was, and I think I told Emmitt this right when we were on the radio show, I'm thinking he got a job someplace. Wish for your success. I'm thinking he got a job offer someplace. But then Emmitt brought up a good point.
Yeah, it is.
This is 2 games in the season.
Like,
who fired a head coach? Who fired a coordinator game 2?
Right. So it was just, I don't know what's the deal with that, but I will say it's definitely an adjustment because you have a new coordinator. Is he using the same terminology as far as plays go? It's a lot of moving factors with that, but they've adjusted well. My biggest concern with the Governors moving forward is pretty much how can they continue to just run the ball successfully when teams are loading the box. Like TSU was completely daring them to pass, and the downfield threat really wasn't there. When the Govs got big plays passing, it was on blitz plays where they just chunked it. And sometimes the receivers came down with it. So that's my concern is
I just don't think they can continue that.
Yeah, like you have to open up the playbook a little bit.
And another on that big play action passes, they have to utilize that play action pass because they don't.
Like you got guys are gonna, linebackers are flying up the field as soon as they see run against the Governors. They're flying up the field. So if you could just zone read it a little bit, pull it back, and just get some quick, easy hitters, I feel like that'll be their best bet. But they don't really incorporate that much into the offense.
So you don't think those run plays that they usually do have any kind of pass option at all? It's just like a dead run, and it's either give it or take it.
Some of them
are run pass options.
Run pass options, but those run pass options are typically screen passes, like they're quick outs.
Yeah.
They don't typically just run a quick slant out of the screen.
Yeah,
like you see with the Eagles, with Carson Wentz, when a run pass option, you'll see Alshon Jeffrey do a quick slant, 4 yards, go.
Or like one of those quick seams on the slot receiver where he just takes one step and he's running downfield. You try to hit him on that little seam in between the safety and the linebacker. So those kind of plays. But they don't really, I don't know if maybe, the quarterbacks don't really read the run pass options that well and they just always go run. But I don't know.
Do you think they just don't trust the arm of Jeremiah?
I definitely think that's the reason. I mean, in the scouting report, I remember the first game against Georgia, the ESPN stated that neither quarterback for Austin Peay had a good arm, like past 20 yards.
Wow.
That was literally in the scouting report. ESPN actually said Javon Craig's arm is better, in their opinion, than Oatsvall, but neither quarterback has a cannon, and that's a concern in college. You have to be able to throw the ball downfield.
And then if it rains, that range goes down to 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Because another thing is the accuracy.
Yeah.
Because when they're throwing the ball 20 yards, if you see that ball, sometimes it's wobbly.
Yep. Those
it's
tight spirals. Yeah, not tight spirals
Tim
anymore.
Tebow. Little Tim Tebow duck.
But they're definitely going to have to figure some things out moving forward. But they they can win ball games. It's just a matter of having the right game plan and executing with your personnel.
Yeah. Speaking of the right personnel, I want to transition to a topic that I didn't really want to get to, but we're going to have to talk about it anyway. Folks, if you're listening to this, I'm a Tennessee fan. And as you can see, Emmitt, it's not been a fun ride the past few years. Oh, I guess 3 years ago was outstanding because, you know, we had Dobbs at his peak. You know, we had Kamara doing really well, and we had a good group. Jennings was doing outstanding at the receiver position. We had Derek Barnett was doing amazing.
Was Hurd a part of that team too?
I think he was,
Yeah,
but
I
I think,
yeah.
but that was I think that was the year he left because trash. I thought he was. I mean, okay, you could say, well, we didn't use him right. Okay, sure, but even when we thought we used him, like, okay, you could run him up the middle.
Y'all had a receiver playing running back.
Yeah, you could run him up the middle, and he would, you know, get stuffed maybe for a 2-yard gain. You run him along the side, he didn't have the speed to break out. I didn't think he did. He had a few good runs. I'll give him that. Yeah. He had a few good runs. I just didn't think he had the speed to break away. Hurd did. And then they brought in they had Kamara was good. Kamara wasn't even the starting running back. And I can't even remember who was the starting running back.
That's the fattest L in the history of college football. Just to see what he's doing
right now in the NFL.
And also people forget, he was recruited by Alabama as a 5-star running back coming out of high school. He just got in trouble, went JUCO, went to Tennessee, and they didn't utilize him. And now he's tearing it up for the Saints.
Just think if he was playing starting running back for Tennessee, that would have been a big difference.
Yeah. And then they also had a guy behind them that I think he originally played like safety or something, and they were that desperate to find a running back. And I think Kamara and it's going to kill me because I can't remember this guy. The only problem with the other guy was he fumbled a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
He was a good runner, but if somebody went for the jab on the ball, it's out.
Yeah.
You know, start diving. But Kamara wouldn't do that. Yeah, that's right though. That's probably the biggest L that I've ever seen Tennessee take.
Yeah, that's the fat one.
And that's even over like hiring like Derek Dooley.
Dooley.
Or like Lane Kiffin.
Derek Dooley.
Like that's over hiring those two. Like you have a guy that just dominated the NFL and is still doing work, and I don't even think he's their starter at New Orleans.
No, he's started. He started.
I thought because Ingram was their leading rusher last game
against
the Redskins.
Ingram just came back. He was on suspension.
Yeah, he was on suspension.
But Kamara's been getting a lot of touches now.
Well, can you really say he's the starting running back after Ingram's just been on suspension and then he comes back and Ingram takes the leading rusher role?
It's almost split. With the Saints, it's almost like a split back role. So
almost like a Derek and DeMarco kind of deal.
Yeah, because they'll split carries. Kamara has the ability to catch, so that's what puts him in like as a third down back. But they put up similar numbers last year as well.
So back to Tennessee football, even though I really don't want to talk about this, but we have to talk about this. So Tennessee had a bye week this week. So at least they didn't lose.
That is correct.
So, I mean, that's good. I'm not too sure how I feel about this coaching staff. I mean, Pruitt, he just doesn't capture me like Butch did. And here's the thing.
Brick by brick.
Here's the thing. I'm still wondering where my mailbox is. Because he told me he was going to build me a brick mailbox, and I'm still wondering where that is. It was like 3/4 of the way built, and he just stopped. Here's a problem with Butch Jones that I liked about him. He could talk to me, it seemed like. You know, whenever I had a question, I never physically asked him a question, but whenever I had a question about the Volunteers and how they play, he seemed to be able to answer that question at any time that I was thinking about it. And he could capture me and say, we're going to get this done, we're going to do this, and this, boom, done.
Wait, you got to put in.
Brick by brick. Okay, cool.
But and never did.
And then he backs that up by slowly getting better, and then top 5 recruiting class, top 3 recruiting class, top 3, top 5. And it's like, okay, he's bringing in talent. He's bringing in talent. I like this guy because he's finally bringing talent that Tennessee, I don't think, has had in a while.
Correct.
And all he has to do is coach him. And he can't coach him. And then I finally see that in that last season when he's, all of a sudden he doesn't have Dobbs, who could make nothing into everything. When he could literally take a play that was blown up in the backfield, break away from 3 tacklers, and run for 40 yards. When he doesn't have that, and he has Garantano, or he has Dormandy, he has nothing. He has absolutely nothing on his team. And there goes his career in the SEC just like that, because he doesn't have a quarterback that can bail him out.
Yeah, bail him out.
Bail out his play calls. Bail out his personnels. He doesn't have that anymore, and that's why he's fired, because he didn't build like he thought he built. It was just the facade of the greatness that Josh Dobbs was as a UT Volunteer. That's all it was. That's all I believe it is. Pruitt, while he has a resume, and I'll let y'all talk because I feel like I'm talking a lot. But
no, man. This is a topic you're really passionate about.
I'm really passionate about this.
While
Pruitt has a resume of being the defensive coordinator for Alabama and winning a title, I have a lot of comparisons to Kirby Smart. What did he do? He was defensive coordinator for Alabama. You know that. You're an Alabama fan. Defensive coordinator for Alabama, wins a title, moves to a SEC East team that is struggling. First season has a terrible year with Georgia. No, okay, terrible. Scratch that. Decent year with Georgia. Decent year with Georgia. The very next year, he wins the SEC and goes to a national championship against Alabama.
Where he loses.
But plays a solid game against Alabama.
They was up.
I mean, and it competes with them.
They wasn't ready for Tua now.
Exactly.
They wasn't ready for Tua.
That's a whole nother,
Okay, but you see what I'm saying?
I got you. I get the point.
There's the comparisons of, then you have Pruitt who steps in, and he wins the national championship over Georgia as a defensive coordinator, leaves to go to a struggling SEC East team. His first year, he's struggling.
Yeah.
This is not like, oh, he's kind of doing decent. No, he is struggling. And who do we have next? Auburn.
Who do you have after
Number
that?
8, Alabama. The gauntlet. This is bad. Bad news bears.
Three
Stranger
tough games.
danger. Run away. This is not good for Pruitt. I don't think it is. I don't believe it. I don't believe in Pruitt anymore. I believed him when he had probably that first or second press conference. I didn't believe him at the orange and white game because he called out all the fans. Do you remember that? He called out all the fans and said, there should have been more of you here. If you were something along the lines of, like, if you were real fans, you would have been here. I'm like, ooh, that's not a good place to be stepping, especially as a new head coach to a team that is built on history and the alumni, and you're calling out the alumni on day one. That's no bueno.
That's not
my
good
guy.
at all.
And bold move.
Bold move. Stupid move. I think. I think he lost a lot of people there. And then, when he talks in press conferences, he's just kind of this aw shucks kind of guy. He just kind of everything just kind of rolls off him, and he's just, oh well, man, we just been kind of doing this, and it's just kind of rolling, and we're gonna be okay.
And he literally was like, hey. Only way I know how to get better is by continuing to play or something.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. Like, what?
Like, and here's the thing that I don't get. If Butch Jones was top 5, top 3 recruiting classes in like 4 years in a row, he's got talent.
They should, because they're still on that team.
He's got the talent on that team. He's got the capability, and he can't utilize it. Now, granted, he doesn't have a quarterback.
I said no quarterback now.
Garantano is not good. Whatever any Tennessee player or student, whatever any Tennessee fan, whatever ever Tennessee analyst, any student. I've had students from UT's campus tell me, "Oh, you should just see him in practice." I'm like, I don't care what he looks like in practice.
Practice don't. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice.
Not the game.
We're talking about practice.
And he's like, oh, you should see him in practice. He's throwing dots in practice. I'm like, that's great. He doesn't have the crowd looking at him in practice. He doesn't have the cameras. right on him at practice. He doesn't have the football analyst, on the mic right when he gets the ball every single time. He doesn't have that at practice. He's got Butch, or he's got Pruitt right there next to him saying, that was a bad throw, son. You got to do better than that. Okay. That was a little better, son. You got to do better than that. Now, okay, you can do that all the time in practice. Whenever I go play golf, I could go hit the best drive of my life on the driving range, but if I don't do it on the course, what's the point? What's the point?
Hey, Aaron, you just come watch people play in Tuscaloosa.
No,
hey,
I refuse.
Hey,
lift your spirits up a little
refuse.
bit, accept the fact that,
I refuse
the Alabama
to watch that
dominance is not
ugly
I'm
red
tired of
and cream play.
Tired of Alabama. If Nick Saban leave right now,
he's not leaving.
He's not leaving.
He's not gonna leave.
He's
But
the highest paid employee in the state of Alabama. Why would he leave? That's $8 million a season.
That is true.
Texas offered him 10 too.
He don't want it.
I know he wants a program that he's already built.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants winning, and
Exactly.
Texas is starting to win.
All I'm gonna say is this:
Hey,
college football player of the week, Tua.
but one thing I'll say, the Stephen A. moment. Put that camera on me right there. Mike Stoops for Oklahoma Sooners needs to be gone. I'm tired of 10 years of bad defense.
He is gone, I believe. The defense coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just
did it?
Gave him the boot. At least according to Bleacher Report.
When was this?
I pulled it up real quick.
Please do.
We can keep
Please
talking.
He don't believe you.
No dead air, but we.
Well, we're not gonna have dead air because we're not gonna. I like how you kind of transition that because you've made me stop my rant, so I appreciate that.
Hey, somebody had to do it.
Somebody had to do it.
Steve
I was pretty
wanted
much
to, but Steve didn't do it.
I was pretty much just a speeding train that wasn't going to stop about Tennessee football, so I appreciate that. But yeah, let's go ahead and go to maybe college football player of the week. Just like he said, I think Dwayne Haskins is the guy. I mean, QB, Ohio State, 455 yards, 6 touchdowns. Oh, what's the verdict?
Told you he was out.
When was this?
I
When
know
was
my
this?
stuff.
When was this?
When was this? Bleacher Report. Oklahoma defensive coordinator Mike Stoops fired.
Immediately.
After the game?
I'm pretty sure it was. It was
Thank
very recent.
you. Thank you. I'm tired of 10 years. The last time we had a good defense was in 2008, guys. And that's when we was in a national championship game against Tim Tebow. Sam Bradford was our quarterback.
And the first comment is LeBron's the GOAT. All right.
But, okay, you said Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I mean, 455 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, I don't care who you play. I mean, that's impressive,
tough.
I think. But then again, he's at Ohio State, so he's got good talent around him.
Exactly.
They weren't playing the greatest of opponents, I don't think. So, I don't know. But stats-wise, to me, that's the guy.
You
What about you?
said your guy was Tua.
I mean, I'm a little biased, of course, but I mean, Tua, he's if he doesn't win the Heisman, I'll be shocked. We haven't seen his stats are ridiculous. We have not seen this.
He threw 300 yards in one half.
This guy's not even playing the whole game.
If Garantano throws for 100 yards in the first half, he's going to be my college football player of the week.
Tua has a passer rating on the season of 258.4. That's like 20 points higher than Baker's from 2017.
Okay, but he's also on Alabama.
Yes,
so he's got the better offensive line. He's got the better running backs. He's got the better receivers. He's got better defense. I mean, we're talking 6 NFL caliber athletes on each side of the ball for Alabama.
I understand
for Oklahoma,
this.
probably 2.
I understand all of this. However, I mean, if you just watch the guy play, you can't not accept his greatness. You can't.
I understand. I get that.
But who you got?
I'm just dogging on you because you're Alabama.
I'm gonna be a little biased too, but my guy is Kyler Murray.
He had a good game.
He had a really good game. 4 touchdowns, 304 yards, and they almost came back and won against Texas, a game that Oklahoma shouldn't have lost. But that defense once again hurt them. And it just Kyler Murray's one of the best dual threats in the game right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's a baseball guy too, right?
He is.
Yeah.
Got drafted by the Oakland Athletics.
Have y'all seen the other, I also wrote down here some upsets. Have y'all seen a lot of the upsets lately?
Oh, yeah.
Some of these are nuts. I mean, Florida beats 22 ranked Florida beats 5 ranked LSU 27-19. I was watching that game because half of me is an LSU fan because half of my family's from Louisiana, and they're diehard LSU fans. I'm a Tennessee fan because I was born and raised in Tennessee. My mom, I guess she's a turncoat. She went from being an LSU fan to a Tennessee fan because my dad was a Tennessee fan, and then my whole family became Tennessee fans. But I have respect for LSU. That's a big one, though. 22 Florida beats 5 LSU. Yeah. That's big. Another one I saw, Mississippi State beats number 8 Auburn.
Mississippi State, I don't know what was going on with Auburn.
They don't got a quarterback. Their quarterback is horrible.
Stidham, he
horrible.
I don't know what was going on because they wasn't playing like themselves at all.
I was talking to my boss the other day at my work, and he was like, I said something just to mess with him, and I said, hey, your quarterback got injured, got carted off the field. He goes, are you serious? Really? I'm like, this is not the reaction that I wanted out of you. And he's like, wait, are you kidding me? Or are you actually like, are you just joking? And I'm like, no, I'm joking, guy. What are you talking about? Yeah. He's like, God, I don't want him in a game. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yikes. So you're wishing this guy gets hurt? He's like, well, I mean, whatever means.
That's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is, man. It's bad. And I kind of watched a little bit of it, too. And I don't agree with the mindset of I hope he gets hurt. But he don't need to be the starter.
He needs to
We need to see somebody else.
Somebody.
We need to see somebody else. Then the big one, I thought, Utah beats number 14th Stanford 40-21.
Yeah, they came to play.
They came to play.
Wow.
You play to win the game.
Oh man, but that's pretty much our halfway point. That's our college football, Austin Peay football. That's our segment. We're going to transition into a segment that me and Emmitt like to talk about, except for this week, as you can see, Facepalm City. Titans football is not looking good anymore after a huge win streak against Houston, Jacksonville, and now Philadelphia. The Titans take that momentum and throw it in the garbage as they travel to Buffalo and lose that by a point. Probably, arguably, the worst team in the NFL.
Worse than Arizona?
It's debatable.
It's debatable. It's debatable.
The fact that it's in the conversation is bad for the Titans.
I don't even know it's just a lot with this. It was a game where they came out and they laid a goose egg. Vrabel said they didn't practice well Friday, and
that transition.
They transitioned for sure, but they still had every opportunity to win a game and didn't do it. Nick Williams.
Right through your arm.
Oh, my gosh.
You're an NFL receiver. For Mariota to buy time with his legs, throw a dime on the run.
A dime?
And it hits him right here in the numbers, and he just goes through both arms. I'm like.
I mean, that's just the story of Tennessee receivers.
I mean, what?
How inconsistent
What more can Mariota do? That's the thing. Like, he does everything he can possibly do to put this team in the best position to win, and no one's helping him outside of Corey Davis.
That's his mindset, too, because you can see him. This is the first time I've seen him get legitimately frustrated at his team.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And in just times when like when he threw it to Williams, and it was just wide open in the breadbasket, not anybody within 10 yards of the guy goes straight through his elbows, which is a high school mistake. This is what they teach you in like high school when you're learning to catch over your shoulder, because quarterbacks are actually starting to learn how to be accurate for the first time. Yes. They're saying, okay, when the quarterback passes you the ball, if you're looking at him, catch it with your hands. Don't catch it with your chest because it's going to bounce off you, or don't catch it with your face because that's not good either. It's going to bounce off your face mask.
Don't try to catch it with
your hands.
Don't try to catch it with your
diamond.
arms.
They teach you the diamond. Make a
catch
diamond.
It, snag it.
And I'm not even a wide receiver, and I know that.
And look the ball all the way into the tuck.
Yeah.
Simple.
Don't try to run before you tuck.
Even with over the shoulder, they want you to catch it just like this.
Just like this. Shoulders or elbows in.
Elbows in.
And hands together.
And he just completely.
And he just looked like a
elbows
chicken.
Out. I'm like, dude, what are you?
He tries to catch it like this, guys.
And on that play, Jonnu Smith was wide open on the other side of the end zone, and Mariota literally, you could tell he looked and was like, nah, fam. So Mariota, I feel bad for the guy because I mean anybody who's been watching Tennessee football and understands Mariota's a great quarterback. He really can be elite and take that next step with the right guys around him. And he's shown flashes of that in this 3-game winning streak. But in Buffalo, he didn't have any help.
Guys, he threw 336 yards against the Eagles.
Yes. Against probably the best overall defense in the game.
I mean,
maybe arguably against Jacksonville. But still, I mean, the Eagles have an outstanding defensive
between
crew.
the pass rush, the corners, the linemen. He really was out there shredding them. So with, Corey Davis had a great game, but it's like at the end of the day, you have to have other receivers step up. Taywan Taylor.
Corey Davis wouldn't have had a game if it wasn't for Mariota.
Exactly. Yeah. Taywan Taylor fumbles against Buffalo. It was just,
how many fumbles were there?
Too many to count.
Oh, my gosh.
That's too many. Like, Mariota finished the game with 139 yards.
That's unacceptable.
You let the opposing quarterback, rookie Josh Allen, finish the game now. Not rushing yards, passing yards with 101.
Why does this offense tend to struggle against weaker opponents?
That is a great question.
I keep saying this because me and Emmitt talk a lot.
Yeah.
When we go to our Friday night radio show, and I mean, we talked about this, that the Titans play to their opponent, and we'll get to the Raiders because we know Marcus is the outlier here. He's a Raiders fan, but
we don't even need to talk about the Raiders. we don't.
But they play to their opponent. I mean, and that's evident in the Dolphins. Okay, I'll give them a slide on the Dolphins because it was the longest game in NFL history.
And everyone got hurt.
Everyone got hurt. And then you had, and not even just hurt, like Taylor Lewan out like for a week at that point. You had Delaney Walker in one of the most gruesome type of injuries that you can have with a dislocated ankle and a broken fibula. I mean, that's no bueno. We saw that with Tyler Eifert last week, and that's not good. I mean, that's ugly to think about. But you get all that, and on top of all that rain delay, a 7+ hour game, and they lose by a field goal to a Miami team that actually didn't start off bad. They start off 3-0.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, I can't be too upset about that. But then we turn right around and you beat Houston, you beat Jacksonville, you beat Philly, and it's like, whoa, this is a team. This is a Super Bowl team. That's what Titans were thinking.
Yes.
Titans fans. You know why?
Patton Cook.
Because that's what I was thinking. Oh yeah, let's get to that. And I know some of those stats too. You want me to say them? You want to say them?
I want to say.
You want to say them?
Okay.
Okay. So this is what Patton Cook. He's a broadcaster here on campus with us as well. He's a Titans fan along with me and Emmitt, and I know all these stats already, and they're actually pretty crazy if you think about it. But he was talking to Marcus, and Marcus kind of shot him down. And go for it.
All right. So in 2001, that's when the last time the Titans went to the Super Bowl. The Titans and the Rams, they started 3-1. The Super Bowl was in Atlanta. This year, the Super Bowl is in Atlanta. The Titans unveiled new jerseys. They did the same thing in 2001. So now Titans fans thinking, oh, yeah, we Super Bowl bound, baby. Come on now.
I mean, the Super Bowl is being played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
And the NFL draft is in Nashville.
And the NFL draft is in Nashville.
It's a nice little...
I mean...
It's a nice little rumor.
20 years ago, which is when the Titans went to the Super Bowl, they unveiled the uniforms, which is exactly what they did 20 years ago when they made their Super Bowl run. Like Marcus said, that same year the Titans went to the Super Bowl, Rams were 3-1, Titans were 3-1. This year, Titans were 3-1. Rams were
3-1.
3-1. Who did they lose to? But do y'all remember?
You just made me forget. Right.
You
just
got
made me forget. Right.
They lost to man. Who did?
Who's man?
Man, who?
Who did they lose to, guys?
Steve, you got that?
Can we phone a friend, Steve, our producer here, our technical director, producer here, Steve? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up.
At any
boys.
rate,
anyways, they're 3-1. So were the Titans at that point in time. So all of these things paralleled and lined up so perfectly that us Titans fans, and I'll have to agree, I was in on it too. We're thinking this is the year, boys. But
I still, just because we lost to Buffalo,
I'm not too upset. I mean, we're 3-2.
Yeah.
We're only first 5 games in.
We're still undefeated in the division.
Yeah, we're still outright leading in the division.
Right.
As long as we can keep beating, the Colts and the Texans, I think we can lose one to the Jags and still win.
As the Titans film room tweeted for the Titans fans, Blake Bortles is not your quarterback. Bill O'Brien is not your head coach, and you don't have Jim Irsay as an owner.
You're not the
GM.
Colts.
And you're in front of you're top of the division. So
I'm sorry. Actually, the Rams are 4-0.
I was about to say I don't think they've lost because they keep talking about how this offense is too high powered to stop.
Oh yeah,
I was about to say I don't think they've lost.
No, they haven't lost.
So they're 4-0.
Yes,
5-0.
Well,
They're 5-0 because them and Kansas City are
right.
the only unbeaten's
All right. So
left. Okay, here's a good question for you guys: who stays unbeaten longer,
the Rams.
L.A. or Kansas City?
The Rams.
Does Mahomes lead them to the promised land, or does Jared Goff and that offense?
now
I don't know. I have a feeling that Kansas City's offense is almost so unpredictable with the way Mahomes can play.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing: I have never seen a quarterback like Mahomes.
that is true.
I've never seen this. The fact that he can roll out and across, which
He
is the
has one
hardest
of the
throw in
strongest
football.
arms ever.
The hardest throw in football for a quarterback is running to your as a righty, running to your left, and turning your body
And throwing it across the field.
and throwing it across the field. That's the hardest throw you can possibly make, and he throws it on a dang rope, and then on
the
a
money.
dime
On the money.
every time. He's had it was like 13-2 touchdown to interception ratio or 11-2.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. That is absolutely crazy. I've never seen a quarterback do this in my entire life ever. And I'm talking about Tom Brady. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Those 2 interceptions happened last game.
Right.
That was against Jacksonville.
Yeah,
One of the best defenses.
the best defense.
Corners, secondary.
His throwing power has to be on 99 on Madden.
And it's not.
It's
like a 95 or 94.
It's up there. It should be up there.
Though. Like, dude, his
And
arm
that's
strength
actually
is
I don't know because the leagues I'm in aren't like the true like updated rosters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure the updated rosters will show something different.
Because if y'all watch that game against the Denver, he made some crazy throws.
Dude was under pressure, and he threw the ball with his left hand while falling down.
Yeah. See, you don't see other quarterbacks doing
What?
that. Yeah, the closest thing I can ever bring up to like side by side that play is maybe when Brett Favre threw it side hand and on the money. But I've never seen a quarterback like getting tackled and just goes with his left hand and
tight spiral.
Again, tight spiral on the money. On a receiver that's I think it was
Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
who's on the run on a corner route and he just puts it right on the money with his non-dominant hand with a tight spiral. I'm sorry, like you can't teach that.
But one thing I will say, the Chiefs are playing the Patriots this week.
I think the Chiefs win.
I predicted the Chiefs to win, but it is Tom Brady, so it's gonna be a battle.
Now here's the difference, though: the Chiefs' defense is actually one of the worst defenses in the league.
That's my point.
So
if anyone can beat Mahomes, it's Bill.
Yeah,
That's
but they couldn't even beat Alex Smith last year.
And Kareem Hunt went for 3 touchdowns, so
Correct.
Yeah, and Kareem's still there.
he is.
You know,
Bill is gonna key in on Kareem. Kareem won't have another.
well, if you stop the run, you stop their pass at the same time. A lot of time, unless your name's Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that can only slice you up through the pass and win games.
But Patrick, he looks like he has that ability to beat you with the pass.
I agree completely. That's why I don't think Patriots win this one, especially who's away and who's home. I can't remember. Okay, Chiefs are away, so
and
that's
Foxborough.
if that's in Foxborough,
Give me the
that's
Pats.
big.
Give me the Pats.
That's
Give me
big.
the Pats. I'll take the Pats.
So I
I'll
kind
be
of
the
want to.
guy.
I kind of want to move to one more thing real quick. We're gonna do actually 2 segments. Then we're
Mhm.
gonna go to predictions
Okay.
to end the show. We're almost getting there. I kind of have an idea as to who this might be. NFL Player of the Week. To me, you got to be Drew Brees.
Yeah.
I mean, he broke that record. You know, it was effortless. I mean, just so easy. He actually did it 26 for 29 on the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't stopping him, Washington. You weren't stopping Drew that day.
That was too
363 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That was too easy.
You weren't stopping him. So then the question arises, is he the GOAT?
To me, no.
He's got a Super Bowl ring.
He has one.
So he has a championship.
My GOAT.
He never had a defense like the Patriots
My
had.
GOAT is Aaron Rodgers when the quarterback talk goes.
I think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest
and we've never seen, if you give Aaron Rodgers the talent that Drew Brees has had on offense with Michael Thomas, the running backs, things of that nature, and if you give him Bill Belichick and the Patriots cheating ways, Aaron Rodgers does ridiculous things. So
I
got to
give Aaron Rodgers any kind of defense other than Clay Matthews and HaHa Clinton Dix.
If he has a defense or a running back,
Aaron Rodgers has never had an elite running back.
Just bring back Eddie Lacy.
Eddie Lacy was his last.
That was about his best, but he wasn't necessarily elite. I'm talking.
He was like above average.
Think about it. Drew Brees has had Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, he had Pierre Thomas, guys like that.
Peterson.
Yeah. Brady has had. Do we even have to go what Brady has had?
Well, he's actually set a record for most touchdown passes thrown to different receivers. Brady has.
That's how many different receivers, but they were still all good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like in the 50s.
Randy Moss, Julian Edelman,
Wes Welker,
like
Randy Moss,
Wes Welker, the guy that like changed the game of the slot receiver position.
Yes, it wasn't like he has just no-name guys coming in and running. They know how to.
The best tight end to probably ever play the game, and Rob Gronkowski.
And Aaron Hernandez was on the same team at one point before he. But anyway, it's a lot with that. Like he's had an array of receivers. So Aaron Rodgers, what he's done without that, he's the GOAT to me. However, Breeze is definitely in the conversation.
What I'll say is that Aaron Rodgers, most talented quarterback in the history.
Yeah.
Period. Drew Brees, slinger. And he got it with the most passing yards. To me, my GOAT is Tom Brady.
Are you just like because he has rings kind of guy?
No, because he also has the ability.
Because then you can get out of here.
No. He has the ability now because, don't get me wrong, for that fifth one, he had to work.
He did. I agree.
And he has, look at his playoff record.
Rodgers, Brady, Breeze, to me.
Peyton.
Well, Peyton.
Peyton at 4.
Yeah,
Peyton at 4.
I get it.
I give you that.
I wasn't, I was kind of talking about active quarterbacks.
Okay.
But
okay.
It's all good.
Mine would be Marcus. No, I'm just kidding.
He could be.
That man.
The man. He could.
He is the man. I don't know if you guys ever even heard I showed them right before the broadcast started, the Mike Keith call for the Titans winning against the Eagles in overtime. Probably one of the most hilarious, glorious final calls.
Energetic.
You should listen to it. It's hilarious. The man is what he calls Marcus Mariota, which is crazy. Let's go to some rumors and some talk that we've heard around the NFL. And one thing that you guys noticed right offhand that y'all thought that I think I was making up, rumors, Shady McCoy, LaShawn McCoy going to the Eagles.
What?
Why?
What does Buffalo gain by sending him back to Philly? That's all I want to know.
Do the Eagles have the money?
Like, what? I just don't see how anyone wins here. And Shady, don't get me wrong, Shady is Shady.
Shady, but Shady's been hurt.
What's wrong with Jay Ajayi?
They put him on IR.
He's on IR.
He's done now?
They put him on IR.
That might be why then.
So it makes sense, but at the same time, Shady's
been hurt.
Shady could end up on IR just as easily.
Hey,
so
I wouldn't, honestly, to be honest, I'm not too big of a Derrick Henry fan at this point. I don't think he's the guy. As much as you're an Alabama guy, I just don't see it. Because here's the thing with Derrick Henry, which he's great at when he picks up speed, you can't tackle a guy.
Yeah.
He can't pick up the speed. I don't think he
picked
can.
us.
He doesn't. I don't feel like he's confident in the zone scheme. Like with Millard, he was hitting the hole a lot harder last season and the season before. Now he's not really. Like, if Derek just put his shoulder down and ran into people, I promise you he'd get yards.
Well, here's the problem. You can't just
doesn't.
run him up the middle.
Exactly. One thing I say, he looks like he's not confident in the play style
the
Titans are running.
Yes, I don't think the zone running scheme is fitting for him just now.
Because, Derek is more used to that I formation.
Pistol.
Power.
Ancient Terry Robisky, Malarkey, 1976 type offense. And now you get LaFleur, who's, zone running scheme, more so, catering to Mariota versus the running backs.
Yeah.
Which is why Dion got in the picture.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, if Derek doesn't pick it up, you have to go with Dion.
But you agree, his performance is very lackluster.
Derek agrees. Every game, he's like, I'm playing trash. Like, he's like, it's just, and you can tell he's frustrated, but I have faith that he will get it together. But if he doesn't, hey, that's why you signed Dion.
True.
Yeah, I'm worried for the guy because I see so much potential in him. I just don't think he can hit holes. I don't think he has the vision. I don't think he has the acceleration. I don't think he has the move to like the one cut move to be able to just hit a hole and gone. But now he's done it before a few times.
Yeah.
But it's like he's like that running back that's like 99% of his runs are stuffed at the line or behind the line, and then you get the 1% that's 80 yards for a touchdown.
Mm. But that size,
that's all you get.
His size do kind of play a role to those one cuts. He's not as elusive.
You kind of need to be elusive though in the scheme that we've got.
Yeah,
and I don't think he can fit that. So, maybe get rid of him. And
I think it's too soon.
Yeah,
I think it's too soon.
For some maybe a draft pick or something.
Relax. Because guess what?
I can't relax. You know why? Because he's garbage.
Emmitt. If he goes for 150, 200 one game, he going.
And don't get me wrong, I kill in Madden with him.
Yeah, just
because oh my gosh, you put the stick down and he just through like 12 guys and there he goes. Bye.
Seriously, hold on. Give it time. Give it time.
Just give it.
Because
I just can't, man.
The crisis is at receiver in Tennessee.
Yeah,
it's not at running back.
Not running back.
I agree.
When you have when Nick Williams is actually in the game, and that's the guy who you're throwing to win the game is Nick Williams, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
that's the real problem here. Nick Williams is the guy we're putting the game on the line with.
I need Corey Davis to get at least 12 targets each and every game now.
How about Jamal Charles is now a Jacksonville Jaguar? How about that?
I don't care.
You don't care? I don't think it's going to do anything to their offense.
That's why I don't care.
Now, I will say Leonard Fournette, watch out because he might be gone soon because
he can't stay
statistics lie. Stats don't lie. That offense functions better without him.
He's constantly hurt. Just plain and simple. He can't stay healthy.
Gone.
But he took so many. Thing is, that was the knock on him in college. He took so many hits and had so many carries at LSU. They were like, "Will he really transition well?"
I think it's because he's secretly fragile because he's actually 40. He's actually a 40-year-old. I think that's what it is. Because you look at him in college and you're thinking he is not 19.
There's no way that kid's 18
He's not 20.
But the thing
that's
is,
a man.
Even in Jacksonville, he still has a lot. 20.
Yeah.
25. So those carries,
they add up.
They add up.
We've all played football or sports before. You know how sore you are after a game. Now imagine guys hitting you that are paid $10 million and are 30.
Benching
every play.
Yeah.
Benching 450 for
300
fun. And
with
drinking
ease.
Protein shakes.
Well, that's something, that just shows you how, durability has a lot to do with it, which is why I think you see a lot of Derrick Henry is because he physically just doesn't get hurt.
He's durable.
He is
durable. He hurts people.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that I feel like the Titans are betting on is, hey, after a while, Derrick Henry is a second half type of guy because you get tired of tackling him after. Like, I played linebacker. If I had to tackle Derrick Henry the whole game, at some point, I'm not going to come with that same energy that I had in the first quarter.
And Aaron, with your 1% on those long runs, they're typically in the second half, in fourth quarter.
Yeah. So I feel like, hey, if you do have to transition to Dion starting and letting Derrick come in and feed off him, kind of how they did with DeMarco, might work better, maybe.
I'm just going to need to see more out of him. I mean, more not getting stuffed in the backfield.
Or
Off like one guy where he's like working so hard to try to break that tackle, and then he breaks the tackle and then gets hit back farther, and then breaks the tackle, gets hit back farther, and it goes down for like a 6-yard loss. It's like just go down
or keep or just have packages for Henry. Just have packages set up a playbook set up strictly for Henry's strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like run some more power plays or versus a stretch.
Then could that get predictable?
Yeah, it could be. But
you see Henry in the backfield, it's like, okay, they're going to
power.
But then again, we also have the best play action quarterback in the league.
Exactly.
And
so, hey, it's
I don't know. I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to see a lot more out of Derek.
It's still early. 3-2.
I get it.
Hey, it's better than the Raiders right now, so.
Right.
Yeah, we never got to the Raiders. I don't think we'll be
able to.
I don't think
we need to.
We don't need about 5 minutes left in this episode. Let's go ahead and just get into it, man. This final segment is our prediction segment, and we actually have not been keeping up with it as much as we should. And we're going to try to do what we can. We're going to start fresh today. So the first week, we're scrapping that. That was just, that was a quick episode. I guess we were just trying to get that one out of the way. I don't even remember who I picked, to be honest with you, because I don't even think I wrote it down. I just kind of went with what I thought. We're going to try to just remember these from now on and keep a record. And loser at the end of the year buys
lunch on Marcus.
Yeah,
no.
Lunch on Marcus. No. That's what it's going to be.
It's not going to be
rookie.
All
right. So anyway, first matchup is a Thursday night football matchup. Eagles at Giants. That's a big one. I'm taking the Eagles.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Eagles on the road. I think take that all day, every day. Now the next one is actually our Titans. The Ravens coming to town.
Give me the Titans.
I think the Titans could take this one.
I think the Titans steal it, but I have a little in the back of my mind. I feel like the Ravens might win.
Pick them.
Pick them. This is not the time to straddle the fence, This is the time to dive in on one side and, take your licks if you get wrong.
I got the Titans.
All right. We're converting them slowly but surely.
No,
not
that.
There's plenty of room, man. Just go ahead.
There's always room on the Titans bandwagon because there's usually a lot of seats. Nobody likes us. Buccaneers at Falcons.
Jameis Winston at quarterback.
You believe in Fitzmagic?
No, it's
That's Fitztragic.
Fitztragic now. Now it's Jameis Winston back.
Yes.
But y'all don't believe in crab legs?
No.
Not against the Falcons. I don't.
Steve liked that one.
Crab legs.
He did not steal the crab legs. They were a gift.
Sponsored by Uber.
That was good. That's a solid joke. That's my kind of joke right there. That was a solid joke.
Oh,
I got to come a little harder.
I'm gonna get fined for that one. I'll let Steve take that bill. Next is Panthers at Redskins. I'm gonna take
Panthers.
Give me the Panthers. I like that one. I don't like what I saw out of the Redskins last night, and I think that's gonna continue for them. Panthers all the way. Seahawks at Raiders.
I'm sorry.
Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks too.
Really?
Yeah.
Against the grain.
Where are they playing at?
They are playing at Oakland.
I was say at Oakland, but Derek Carr's been playing terrible.
He has. I don't. What's going on with him? Seriously, like I don't
know.
This was a guy who was like supposed to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback a season or two ago.
Yes.
So.
Colts at Jets. Give me the Colts. I like the Colts.
Yeah, I'm going Colts.
I'm going.
I need T.Y. Hilton to be back.
Cardinals at Vikings. Speed round.
Vikings.
Give me Vikings. I like the Vikings there. I don't like the Cardinals at all.
Trash.
Steelers at Bengals.
Give me the Bengals.
Give me the Bengals.
I like the Steelers here, even on the road. I think they got a lot more talent than the Bengals.
Been pretty hot though.
Cincy can play some football.
They can.
They've been playing football this year.
Chargers at Browns.
That's gonna be a good one.
Game.
That's gonna be a good one.
I'm going Baker. I'm taking Baker.
The Browns.
I'm going Browns.
Give me Rivers. I like Chargers there. I really do. Even on the road, I like Chargers. I don't know why. I'm feeling them. Bills at Texans. I don't think J.J. Watt or Jadeveon Clowney, after what I saw the other night, they're not getting stopped. Give me Texans all day.
Texans.
Next game, Khalil Mack versus the Dolphins.
I like how you said it.
I'm going Bears.
Give me Khalil Mack.
Yeah, give me Bears, man.
Give me Khalil Mack. Rams at Broncos. Now, that's going to be a good game,
Rams.
too.
Ooh,
Rams at Broncos. That's going to be a good game.
Cooper
Give me Broncos. No, Rams. Give me Rams. Rams.
Cooper Kupp and
quick speed round.
Cooks are hurt.
Jaguars at Cowboys. I got Jags.
I got Cowboys.
Give me Jags.
Chiefs at Patriots. I want Chiefs.
Give me the Patriots in Foxborough.
What was your
Chiefs.
And then last game is 49ers Packers. I got Packers. Especially at Lambeau.
Packers.
Yeah. We're going to try to keep that straight, though. That's going to be the end of the second episode of Real Talk. I really appreciate you being with us. For Aaron, Emmitt, and Marcus, we appreciate it. Again, we'll see y'all next time.